want you to hit me as hard as you can.
So who's been looking forward to the latest addition to J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore? It feels like after the cool reception received by the last film, this franchise was kind of petering out, and indeed, this latest edition feels like a premature end to a series that I don't think has ever really worked as well as anybody hoped. So in this one, knowing that his former love, Gellert Grindelwald, played now by Mads Mikkelsen, is looking to take control of the Wizarding World and declare war on the Muggles, Albus Dumbledore, played by Jude enlists the aid of Newt Scamander, once again played by Eddie Redmayne, and his Fantastic Beasts to put a stop to him once and for all. Now, somewhere there's a lesson to be learned here. If you look at how much has gone wrong with Warner Brothers' seemingly cursed extension of the Harry Potter franchise, Fantastic Beasts, you'll see the danger inherent in milking a franchise for all it's worth while also not delivering the things that audiences want to see. There's definitely room for more of J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World, that's a fact, but the latest and presumably final Fantastic Beasts movie is proof positive that if Daniel Radcliffe's Harry Potter isn't involved, who really cares? The movies have never really worked, and this third installment feels like a desperate attempt to bring the series to a premature end while still tying up loose ends for the fans that remain devoted to the franchise. And sure enough, there are some out there, because the last movie still made over $600 million worldwide. Wasn't exactly a flop. So if you watched and were a fan of the last two movies, you'll notice some frustrating course corrections here, and I say that, ironically. For one, Catherine Waterston's Tina is almost completely absent save for a tiny cameo. This is puzzling because she was actually quite charming in the other movies. She's been written out of the series for some reason, despite being one of the most compelling of the new characters, and her absence is felt in many ways, notably how it also takes the focus off of Eddie Redmayne's Newt Scamander, as his relationship with her really dominated the last two movies. Here he becomes little more than a supporting character in a Wizarding World that seems to be losing a whole lot of its magic. The other big change, of course, is that Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore no longer has Johnny Depp playing the antagonist Gellert Grindelwald. Indeed, the sacking of Depp seemed a bit of a cowardly knee-jerk reaction, but what's even strange is how the character has utterly changed, with him ditching the memorable look that Depp brought to him, including a scary eye, pale skin, and blonde hair. It seems like this time they just let Mads Mikkelsen look like, well, Mads Mikkelsen. I mean, he comes in looking like he just walked off the set of another round. It feels like he's playing an entirely new character, which ruins the continuity of the two films up to this point, especially given the fact that Grindelwald and Dumbledore were supposed to have been in love at some point. He just feels like a random generic bad guy here, and the history between him and Dumbledore feels tacked on. If Johnny Depp was still playing the part and he'd been established, it might have worked, but here it just seems random. Indeed, maybe this explains why the focus has shifted almost entirely to Ezra Miller's Credence, who's given the lion's share of screen time here. I assume that Miller is actually in the movie a lot more than Eddie Redmayne at this point. Given recent headlines, though, one might reasonably think sacking Depp and emphasizing Miller was a choice that didn't really pay off in the end, but I digress. One big issue with the latest Fantastic Beasts is how the Wizarding World seems to have been utterly drained of all of its charm. The Fantastic Beasts franchise has always seemed like it was made for grown-up fans who grew up with the Potter franchise, but now are adults and have kids of their own, with WB clearly trying to have it both ways. They embrace some more mature themes, but they also pepper the films with these magical creatures they can make into toys, and indeed, they still feel like children's movies to some extent. The last Fantastic Beasts had some memorably dark moments, including a pretty cool teaser before the credits. But here, this one gets off to a really sour start, in my opinion, with the brutal killing of a magical baby creature and its mother, who weeps as she dies. I mean, what is this? Plague dogs or Watership Down? One must question the wisdom of starting a film on such a downer, as this scene will likely send kids running for the exit with tears in their eyes. Exactly what you want from a Harry Potter movie, right? I also have to take issue with Jude Law's performance as Dumbledore. I love Jude Law, I think he's one of the best actors that we have, but his sophisticated low-key version of the character feels nothing like the impish wizard we saw played by Richard Harris and Michael Gambon in the Harry Potter films. He seems too serious and maybe even cerebral, which is a word I don't think should ever be associated with the Harry Potter universe. Where's the fun? However, the movie does have a couple of saving graces. Oddly, Dan Fogler's Jacob, who was a character I never really cared for, is my favorite character now, because he is the only one that has any agency, as he's trying to rescue his beloved Queenie from Grindelwald. Similarly, Alison Sudol gives the movie some real pathos. You can feel that her loyalties are really divided, and she still loves Fogler's character. You invest in their relationship, which is much more than could be said for anybody else's relationships in these movies. I also really liked Jessica Williams as Professor Lally Hicks, the wizard who seems to be filling in for Waterston's Tina. Her performance is actually quite charming, and she seems like the only one who's having any fun in this cast, which is really bizarre because, I mean, the Harry Potter franchise is supposed to be about magic and fun, isn't it? James Newton Howard also contributes a film score that's pretty good, and I'm glad he was retained despite the fact that the movie feels decidedly non-epic, as if the budget's been cut significantly, as there are really no big action sequences here. There's just loads of talk. Again, bizarre for a movie set in the Wizarding World. As it is, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore feels like a compromised end to a franchise extension that's never really worked as well as everyone hoped. There's a glimmer of hope left here at the end of the film that the series could continue, but I doubt even the most devoted J.K. Rowling fan will want it to. If they want to continue making movies in the Harry Potter universe, you can do it, but you need Harry Potter. It's as simple as that, folks. I give this one a very underwhelming 5 out of 10.
Memory is everything. Without it, we are blind. Without it, we leave the fate of our world to chance.
I'm sorry to disturb you, Albus, but I've just received troubling news.
Tell me, what is it?
It's Grindelwald.
Our time is closed, my brothers and sisters. Our war with the Muggles begins today!
The world as we know it is coming undone. If we're to defeat him, you'll have to trust me.
Mr. Kowalski, we need you.
I said I want an out and I want out.
You do know I'm a witch, right?
Dumbledore asked that I give you something, Jacob.
This is the team that's going to take down the most dangerous wizard in the century. Who wouldn't like our chances?
Oh!
No one can know everything, not even you.
What you're doing is madness. With or without you, I'll burn down their world. Dangerous times favor dangerous men.
If by tea time,
All of us are still alive. You should consider our efforts a success.
Mr. Kowalski,
My pleasure.
do you really intend to turn your back on your own kind? It was you who said we could reshape the world.
Even if we make mistakes. We can try to make things right. We're gonna need some help.
There's nothing you can do to stop me. Things are not quite what they appear.
I trust you're enjoying your wand, Mr. Kowalski.
Can I keep this?